yetu yetu liye mbinguni, yetu yetu amina. Baba yetu yetu liye jina lako litukuzwe.
Baba yetu yetu liye mbinguni, yetu yetu amina. Baba yetu yetu liye jina lako litukuzwe.
Tuangalie chakula chetu, tunachohitaji utusamehe makosa yetu, hey! Kama sisi tunavyowasamehe usitutie katika majaribu, lakini utuokoe na yule milele na
Hi, I'm Dr. Mitch Medina, and this is the life of Christ. In our last program, we were talking about the law of the Nazarite. Now, this stuff is pretty obscure, perhaps, and of historical interest only. And as history, it's interesting perhaps only to the Israelites, of whom I am. But it's interesting to all of us because Jesus is, or was in the flesh, a resident of Nazareth, Nazareth. He was a Nazarite. Now, everybody, reviewing once again from Numbers chapter 6, 1 and 2, then Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh, Yahweh, the Lord, spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, when either a man or a woman consecrates, becomes holy, sets themselves apart to become a Nazarite, consecrates an offering to take the vow of the Nazarite. Nazri, to separate to himself, separate himself to the Lord. He shall separate himself from wine and similar drink. He shall drink neither vinegar made from wine, nor vinegar made from similar drink. Neither shall he drink any grape juice, nor eat fresh grapes or raisins all the days of his separation. He shall eat nothing that is produced by the grapevine, from seed to skin. Well, we can go into that one some other time. But verse 5, all the days of the vow of his separation, no, excuse me, no razor shall come upon his head until the days are fulfilled for which he separated himself to the Lord. He shall be holy, set apart. Then he shall let the locks of the hair of his head grow. Now, again, this is cultural, I suppose. The Hebrew people had had straight hair, and I guess they continue to have straight hair. Now, some people might wonder why I let my hair grow. The reason is actually that my ears get cold. If I don't let my hair grow, my ears get cold. This, in my youth, this was associated with counterculturalism and the like. And I have to admit that before I was saved, I did embrace counterculturalism. But now, I simply find freedom in keeping my hair long, because that way my ears don't get cold. Actually, I don't know how many other people might or might not have this, but I have some nice hair on my ears. And every once in a while, a well-intentioned barber tries to get the hair off of my ears. And I used to let them do it, but not anymore, because it seems whenever somebody cuts the hair on my ears get cold. So I guess I'm finally old enough that I don't have to pay attention to what people think or expect, or what they think the proper dress of a Christian might or might not be. But I can tell you this. In the Holy Land, it gets pretty cold in winter. It can snow in Jerusalem, for example. And I'm quite sure that Jesus kept his hair long because it kept him warm. All the images that we have of Jesus show somebody with long hair, including the image on the shroud of Turin, which I happen to believe is genuine. There's a whole scientific debate on why or why not it doesn't or does not carbon date properly, and God gave me the solution to that one quite some time ago, and I suggested it to the scientists. And it seems that now, perhaps 10 years after 20 years after I thought of it and 10 years after I sent it in, they're finally looking into this idea. But all the biblical movies, whatever it is, all the imagery that we have of ancient Jews, Hebrews, shows them with long hair. Short hair was a Greek fashion, by the way. Climate in Greece is different. It's milder. It doesn't get cold in the winter. And so the Greek men, I guess, could keep their hair trimmed short. But in Israel, it's good for protection. Now, there's no prohibition actually in the law of the Nazarite, Nazarite, Nazarene, Nazareans, whatever it is. There's no prohibition against scissors. And I think that it's probably about time for me to let somebody take scissors to my hair. I was expecting, it seems like the cold season in Kenya has been canceled. Here it is, the end of July or mid-July, and it's supposed to be very cold, but it's not. It's hot. And so maybe I'll get my hair cut in the back a little bit. Anyway, so Nazarite, Nazarene. Who was a Nazarene or a Nazarite who we might be familiar with in the Bible, other than Jesus, who you didn't know until yesterday or whatever, was in fact a Nazarite. He was wholly consecrated and continued, well, in the flesh. It was for just a period of time, a number of days, as were instructed in Numbers, that the Nazarite vow is for a certain amount of time. So Jesus really only had to endure this consecration for 33 years. Now I'm almost getting to be double that, and anyway, during the time of Jesus' consecration, separation, and holy walk on the face of the earth, God separated him. But I want to go back to the history of Nazarites in the Old Testament. Samson was a Nazarite. When Samson was conceived, in Judges chapter 13:2, there was a certain man from Zorah of the family of the Danites, from the tribe of Dan, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren and had no children. And the angel of the Lord appeared to the woman and said to her, "Indeed now you are barren and have borne no children, but you shall conceive and bear a son. Now therefore, please be careful not to drink wine or similar drink, and not to eat anything unclean. For behold, you shall conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come upon his head. For the child shall be a Nazarite, Nazarite, from a Nazarethian, Nazarene, Nazarite, to God from the womb, and he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines." Now that child that was born to Manoah, again, his wife, his unnamed wife, recounts to her husband in Judges chapter 13, verse 7, some have entertained angels unawares, People can show up and look like men or women and in reality be angels. So when Manoah's wife was relating the appearance of this angel to her, she referred to this person as a man of God. And he, this man of God, said to me, "Behold, you shall conceive and bear a son. Now drink no wine or similar drink, nor eat anything unclean, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb to the day of his death." Then Manoah prayed to the Lord and said, "O my Lord, please let the man of God whom you sent come to us and teach us what we shall do for the child who will be born." And God listened to the voice of Manoah. Verse 9, "And the angel of God came to the woman again, as she was sitting in the field. But Manoah, her husband, was not with her. Then the woman ran in haste and told her husband and said to him, 'Look, the man who came to me the other day has just now appeared to me.' So Manoah arose and followed his way. When he came to the man, he said to him, 'Are you the man who spoke to this woman?' And he said, 'I am. I am that I am, that I am, that I am, that I am, that I am. The angel of the Lord,' is an Old Testament way of referring to the pre-incarnate Son of God. The angel. Angel means messenger. There are many angels. Actually, apostles are messengers. And it would be interesting to have complete insight as to whether, when in the book of Revelation, the prophet and apostle John is instructed to write to the angels of the seven churches, whether he's referring to spiritual beings, to apostles, or what, because the function is very similar. But anyway, there were seven angels of seven churches in the book of Revelation. Now, there's just one perfect messenger of the Lord, and that is the angel of the Lord, the Son of God, who became manifest in the flesh in Jesus. But when the pre-incarnate Son of God shows up in the Old Testament, he's referred to as the angel of the Lord. So Manoah arose in Judges in chapter 13, verse 11. So Manoah arose and followed his wife. And when he came to the man, the angel of the Lord, you see the identity, it's not quite clear to us, as flesh and blood beings who contain spirit and soul. When we're dealing with spirits, when Jesus rose from the dead, the apostles thought they were seeing a spirit. But he said, "Touch me," because a spirit doesn't have flesh as you see I do. So this was a spirit being, even though he was an angel, yet an angel came, the angel of the Lord came and wrestled with Jacob. So evidently he had the ability to take on the attributes of flesh anytime he wanted. Now, don't get hung up about these things. God can do what he wants. It's our job to perceive what God is doing and who He is and who we are and what's going on as best as we can. We can actually thank God that we see through a glass darkly, because if we could see perfectly, there would be no chance of repentance. That is perhaps a message for another day. Anyway, Manoah said to the man of God, the woman, the angel of the Lord, he said in Judges, verse 12, "Now let your words come to pass," Devarim, Rhema. What will be the what will be the boy's rule of life and his work? So the angel of the Lord said to Manoah, "Of all that I said to the woman, let her be careful." I'm going to skip some material, I guess, and go down to verse 18 in Judges chapter 13, because perhaps I'll leave the explication of the wine and grape and strong drink and grapes and raisins and all that stuff. Perhaps I'll leave that for another day. In verse 18 of chapter 13, the angel, or let's go back to verse 17. Then Manoah said to the angel of the Lord, "What is your name? That when your words come to pass, we may honor you." And the angel of the Lord said to him, "Why do you ask my name, seeing it is wonderful?" Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder." Not Uhuru's shoulder, not Obama's shoulder, not any so-called president's shoulder. "And his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace." Now, going back to verse 18 of Judges chapter 13, "And the angel of Yahweh said to him being Manoah, Why do you ask my name, seeing it is wonderful? For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, unto us a son is given, for unto us a child is born, unto us a child is born," and so on. "And his name will be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace." His name is wonderful. His name is wonderful. His name is wonderful. Jesus my Lord. Is his name wonderful in your life today? He is wonderful. His name is wonderful. And so, in verse 19 of Judges chapter 13, so Manoah took the young goat with the grain offering and offered it to Yahweh. And Yahweh, he did a wondrous thing while Manoah and his wife looked on. It happened as the flame went up toward heaven from the altar. The angel of Yahweh ascended in the flame of the altar. When Manoah and his wife saw this, they fell on their faces to the ground. When the angel of Yahweh appeared no more to Manoah and his wife, then Manoah knew that he was the angel of the Lord. And Manoah said to his wife, "We shall surely die, because we have seen Elohim, we have seen God." But his wife said to him, "If Yahweh had desired to kill us, he would not have accepted a burnt offering and a grain offering from our hands, nor would he have shown us all these things, nor would he have told us such things as these at this time." So the woman bore a son and called his name Samson. Not Samsung, the phones, Samson. And the child grew, and Yahweh blessed him. And the Spirit of Yahweh began to move upon him at Mahanet Dan, between Zorah and Eshtaol. May the Spirit of God move upon us as we set ourselves apart to the Lord. Man and woman, girl and boy, the Spirit of God is upon us. I'm Dr. Mitch Medina, and this is the life of Christ.
Baba yetu yetu liye mbinguni, yetu yetu amina. Baba yetu yetu liye jina lako litukuzwe.
Baba yetu yetu liye mbinguni, yetu yetu amina. Baba yetu yetu liye jina lako litukuzwe.
Tuendelee chakula chetu